YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back.
Back again. Da, da.
All right. Let's do our garage band thing, my Bob. All right.
Okay.
Who's starting this one? I forgot.
You're starting.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Record in 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Tea with Claudia and B. That's B.
And that's Claudia.
Hello. Hello. And welcome to March. Happy March.
We're in a new month. I think February lasted a long time this year.
It did last a long time. And you know what? February made this podcast, and Emma made February way better than normal. So
agreed. Yeah, we hope you guys feel the same way. Yes.
Yeah. It definitely made my month a lot happier than February normally is for me. So pretty great. So thank you guys so much.
It was fun.
It was so fun. I know, and we already miss it, but it's okay. We'll be back for Emma. Now we're on to Mansfield Park.
Oh, the Mansfield. Where's your copy? You have that? I have this one.
There we go.
Penguin audio.
I love it. This one is like, you can tell that it gets like dirty. It's weird. I don't know. But anyway, pretty cool. Funny. I know. So we're on to Mansfield Park, and it's funny. So B and I decided to watch the first one that we wanted to talk about in our first Mansfield Park episode was the 1983 BBC version. Both of us hadn't seen it before. Mm-hmm. We've both read Mansfield, but I don't know, for some reason I have a hard time sometimes remembering what happens because, like I said before, Mansfield is not one that I am obsessed. I obsess over. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I feel the same. I had the hardest time remembering the storyline before we started watching the show this week. I was like, I don't even really remember what happens at all.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So that's why we wanted to start with this 1983 one, because from all the reviews that we've read, it said this one follows the book closest, or like great, because we are not, we're not even close.
Because we're like 12 pages in.
Yeah.
This is not going to work otherwise.
So we were like, great, we just need something that will explain it more to us, and then that way we can give more of an accurate, hopefully, report of our opinions on everything. So yeah.
And boy, do we got some opinions now.
Well, I guess should we start with our weekly obsessions?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that thing we've been doing. Yeah, what is it? What do you got?
Okay, so my weekly obsession is my little Saturday morning group, 5 to 8-year-olds. We did Welcome to the Jungle. It's a musical based off of the Lion and the Mouse fable, and they did so good this week. And so they had 3 performances, and they were just like the cutest thing ever, and it made me happy. So
that was a fun one.
Yeah, so that was I guess that should have been my high. Oh well, I totally messed up. But that was my obsession this week, was the little kids. Yeah, was the little kids. I love them. So.
That's such a fun one. You have such a fun job to be able to work with kids like that.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm sure it's probably frustrating sometimes, but
yeah, it can be. But like, I get it. Like the more I've done it, like the easier. I'm like, oh, okay, this works really well with this group. You just have to trial and error, and it's just different groups are different. So. Yeah. It can be frustrating, especially like when school started again, and like we had virtual kids and in-class kids, and they expected me to teach both at the same time. And I was like, if I were teaching English or math, maybe I could teach them both at the same time, but not for theater. I need them separate. And so we decided to do separate, because like that's just, for theater, it's hard. I don't know. If it were something else, I could do it. But for theater, it's not fair to the virtual kids, because they get left out of everything. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes.
Well, my obsession this week, I'm going to just do a little shout out to my nephew who turned 7. His name is Bodie, and he's so funny. He just has such a fun personality. And this whole last week, he was like counting down to his birthday.
Oh, cute.
And he, Like he kept being like 4 days till my birthday, 3 days till my birthday. And then the day before his birthday, I saw him and he was like, it's B tomorrow. You're going to have to wish me happy birthday. And I was like, Bodhi, what if I was going to wish you happy birthday after your birthday? And he was like, like he got super ticked and he was like, that's not funny. And I was like, okay, it's fine.
Oh my God.
But he is obsessed with Mario this year for his birthday. So we had a whole Mario thing and it was really cute. And it's just fun to be around kids that are like that age and energy and everything like that. Cause it kind of reminds you to be excited about life too. So
yeah, I know. I like see, it's funny. I remember the things I do remember. I remember loving being 7. I remember 7 like being my favorite age. I don't know why. Like I just remember loving 7's my favorite number anyway. But I just remember like
is that where that started?
Probably. I don't know. I just remember like being 7 and being like, yes, I'm 7. Yes.
Finally 7. That's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good age. Yeah. It's a fun one. It feels like it's a little bit of a like it's like he's an older boy now and it's kind of sad.
I know. That's when they start to get older. It's so I know. It's crazy.
But that's cute.
So cute.
Aww.
All right. So should we dive into Mansfield
Let's
Park?
go to Mansfield now. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm sure that I will have a lot of thoughts about Mansfield once I finish the actual book, but just watching this series, I just want to say there's a time. So this came out in 83, right?
Yeah.
And there's like a time frame in BBC history where it's like they could only get ugly people in their shows. Like, especially the guys, like there was just like no attractive men on BBC until I don't know, late 80s, I'm guessing now, but because oh my gosh, like there were so many times where I was like, who did they cast in this thing? Like, this is so weird. Yes, I'm judgy, but that was the thought I had reoccurring.
Yeah. I thought the hottest one was Tom, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, totally Tom Bertram. He was pretty. He was pretty. But Henry Crawford, I mean, like he really needed like his eyebrows waxed.
Yeah, why would they let him have a unibrow like that?
I don't know. But he seemed like doesn't he seem like a cat? He was like lurky like a cat. Like I just
Yes, exactly, like you are doing right now.
Oh my God.
No, I didn't love a lot of the choices that they made with like hair and makeup. But that's okay.
Yeah, I thought some of Fanny's outfits were adorable. Like her coats and her bonnets, I thought were super cute. So, but yeah, I mean, I thought they were adorable. I thought she was great.
Did you like her?
I did. For Fanny. I loved her for Fanny. Yeah.
Interesting. I thought she was kind of boring.
Well, Fanny is kind of boring. Like, but
that's point.
You know what I mean? That's why we love her. She's not, I mean, this is what she is. She's just like always good, always kind, always like, she's the person that you would go for like advice. Like, you know what I mean? Because she always does what's right. And she like, so she is.
Yeah, but that doesn't always equate to boring. Like having a strong character. I think that's the thing. Like with her, I was like, I feel like she's the Jane Eyre version of Jane Austen's characters, you know? But she has like a really strong moral compass, but she just was like so bleh, you know? But also I feel like they kind of played into like the hysterics of women back in the day, because like the scene when Henry Crawford has proposed to her and she said no, and then her uncle comes in being like, oh, he's like told me that he wants to marry you and I give him my blessing, and she's like, no, I don't want to be with him, and they kind of have that confrontation a little bit and she starts crying. She gets so hysterical. I was like, oh my gosh, like what is the she could be upset without like wailing, like I don't know. I just didn't enjoy that as much.
Yeah, that's true. I think that also what was really troubling her was that she like knew that I know she most likely in her thoughts wanted to tell her uncle that she saw Mary and um Mariah, I mean Mary, sorry, Mariah and Henry like make
Making
out
out.
and all that during like the play. Uh but she like was super overwhelmed with that. So I think that was part of like her hysteria with that. So
that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just thought for Fanny she was really good just because what I know
Oh my
about
gosh, your cat
Fanny.
sounded so perfect just
Oh,
now.
really?
I don't know. Yes. I just heard the perfect little meow.
I know.
Like,
she's like, yeah, she's laying over there. She's like so cute. Yeah. She's little. She almost was named Fanny. I almost named her Fanny.
Oh, really?
It was between Kitty and Fanny. And so I thought, but then I thought, you know what? We've been calling her Kitty anyway because we didn't know what her name was for so long. So I was like, I like Kitty. But my sister, whenever we were playing with Fanny, she was like, Fanny Price eats mice.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I see why that would be a good kitty name.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, she's like wanting to play right now, and I'm like, I can't play right now. So she's so like, funny. Yeah, she is funny. Okay, I have a question. I thought that the guy, okay, so do you know, this is something I don't know. Do you know if like guys wore wigs back then? I thought that was more colonial. Or is that, I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely is colonial. I don't know time frames of it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
At first I was like, yeah, and then when you said that, I was like, oh, I don't know for sure.
I'm just wondering if that's accurate.
I think it is. Man, we really should. Let me Google this.
Okay, because I don't know. I just thought I felt like I was watching for a minute, and when it first started, I was like, "Oh, this is like 1776." You know what I'm saying? I was like, seems super colonial. And then, okay, like, I know that she's supposed to be annoying, but I just couldn't. Like, Lady Bertram's voice was just like,
oh my gosh, she sounded like freaking Moaning Myrtle, and I could not handle it.
I couldn't either. I was like, oh my god. But I mean, that's how she's supposed to be. So I got
okay. So sorry, it says the concept of powdered wigs emerged in France in the mid 17th century. So, okay. Yeah, they would have been doing it. Okay.
So it's not as prevalent in other Austen films, I've noticed, but
yeah, that's true. In this one, they definitely played that up more. So I have a question about Lady. What's her bucket?
Lady B, Lady Bertram.
Yes. What's her deal? Like, she's so weird. I was like, is she like ill? Is she mentally ill? What is happening? What is with her?
I think that we'll know. I think that we'll probably know more when you and I read more.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that I don't know. I just don't think she took care of her. She's taking care of herself, and so I think she's literally like going insane. Because like something similar kind of happened to my grandmother, where she just didn't take care of herself, and so as she got older, she started to just like go like dementia wise and stuff because she just doesn't take care of herself. I think that she probably just wanted to like suffers from like depression, and so she probably just wants to lay around all day, which in turn only makes it worse. And then she has somebody like Fanny who's like super always wanting to help because Mrs. her Aunt Norris is like always telling her you're below, like you should be grateful for everything that your uncle is giving you. So Fanny is overcompensating and probably doing everything that Miss Bertram probably did. And so then she is like, oh, I don't have to do it anymore. So I'm going to just chill out and not do anything. And then it just makes her depression worse by not actually being more active.
That makes sense. You guys, if you have depression, get out and go on walks or something. I don't know. I just was so confused by her. Like, I was like, she's like a child, you know? It's, I don't know. It was, and I didn't remember that in the other version that I had seen years ago. And so I was kind of like, like, what is her, I don't know, but she was freaking annoying. Also, she has the Moaning Myrtle voice. And then Mrs. Norris, I just kept thinking of Harry Potter, the cat, Argus Filch's cat. And I was like, gosh, I can't get Harry Potter out of my head on this one. There's too many references.
I know. Mrs. Norris, what a B word. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. She is, it's like that. I'll steal the line from Anne of Avonlea, the movie. She is a perfect cat. Like, oh my gosh, that woman, so rude and so selfish.
She really is. She really is. I feel bad. I mean, everyone just takes advantage of Fanny, you know, and that's.
I know. It was like a freaking Cinderella story, like halfway through.
Literally, like yes.
Cinderella.
I know. It literally.
Cinderella.
Yeah, it really is like a Cinderella for sure story. Yeah. Like I always have thought that too. I've always like, oh, this is Cinderella, basically. Except she marries her cousin.
Prince Charming, if ever there was one.
Okay, so I was talking to my mom about this today, and I go, yeah, so B and I are doing, have you seen the 1983 Mansfield Park, blah, 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 blah. I'm interested in what you think about it, because she hasn't seen it. And then I go, I just can't get it out of my head. It's so weird that she married her cousin. And my mom was like, well, people did that back then. I'm like, okay, but like, does that mean that I would marry my cousin? And then I named one of my cousins, because like my first cousin, she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh gosh. And I was like, well, if I had to marry a cousin, I would have chosen him. And then we went through all of my cousins. She's like, yeah, you don't want to marry those. She was like, definitely not him. But yep, he's the best bet. I was like, great. I'm going to call him up and be like, yo, if I had to marry a cousin, I'd marry you.
Just so you know, if we were in the 17th century.
Because he is like a stand-up. My cousin is like a stand-up guy. Like, you know, he's totally like someone that like, you know, that any woman should be lucky to have. And he is married, has kids. Great. He's wonderful and great. But I just thought it was hilarious that we kind of narrowed it down.
That is so funny. Okay, here's my thing. Like, I'm very grateful that we don't have a practice of marrying cousins anymore. But does it ever, like, now that we're talking about it, I'm just gonna ask the question. Does it ever like get in your head where you're just like, this is a funny thought? Like at some point this was normal. Yeah. And now it's like so gross. Like you mentioned marrying a cousin to somebody and everyone's like, ew. Like even like second cousins, which is legal in most states, is still like, ew, like that's so gross, you know, like it is so off limits now. And at what point, like, I mean, even through most of history, like marrying close relations was not that unheard of or weird or wrong, you know?
I know.
And now it's like totally weird. It's like freaky weird.
It is weird. Yeah, I don't know. It is
But
strange.
like, is it so wrong because we've been conditioned to think it's wrong, or is there like innately something wrong about it? You know what I mean? Because it's like so repulsive.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's weird because especially like first cousin, that's super close. That's like your mom's or your dad's brother or sister's kid.
Yeah, that's one step away from siblings.
Yeah, that's super close. Like I don't really understand it. So I was in the show Bus Stop, and there's a really funny line. It's and she's from the South, and she goes like, she says, I almost married a cousin of mine named Malcolm, but Pappy wouldn't have it. I just like think of that line every time. I almost married a cousin of mine, but Pappy wouldn't have it. It's like so funny. I know.
Good old Pappy.
Yeah. Because that's what you think of. Like you think of like Hodunk marrying your cousin. Like you think of the Hodunk, like, you know,
uneducated weirdos.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
can't get over that. That's why I can't, like, I love Edmund. I like kind of, but I don't.
but also like he's somebody's cousin and that's gross.
I know, but
I agree.
it's hard for me to get like, this is why I've never obsessed over this one, you know?
Yeah, because there's an ick factor. It's the only
Yeah,
one where she has a cousin
I
that
know.
actually marries another cousin. And that's why we don't like Mr. Collins.
Yeah.
So, you
Yeah.
know, but also I am really curious because it has been so long since I've read this book that I just am it'll be interesting to read it this month and see all the details.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I was watching this one, I just thought, like, I get that they're kind of setting up from the beginning Fanny and Edmund because they're like so close, right? And he's always talking about like he's always looking out for her more than other people
Yeah.
before they finally kind of like realize that Fanny is like such a gem to have. But I was like, I just don't feel like they're really like setting up a romantical thing between them, you know? And in this one, it's like they kind of have something they have a close relationship, but I never really felt like it was
Well,
romantical.
yeah, because okay, so I was really surprised because I was like watching the last episode today, thinking, all
Hmm.
right, there's only 20 minutes left. Like, when are they gonna get together? And then I'm
Yeah.
like, there's 8 minutes left. When are they gonna get together? There's
Yeah.
7 minutes left, and then 5 minutes.
You're
It's
running
like,
out of time.
I know. And then 5 minutes, it's like, and she like, it's the weirdest thing. She like writes in a letter to her brother in this version about how, oh yeah, by the way, I'm married, and then they like go, oh, we're married. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I didn't think that it was really that part of the story was really developed very well.
no, I don't know.
It was weird.
I think that's why, like in a Jane Austen book club, when Bernadette goes, I just want to one day pick up Mansfield Park and see Fanny and Devin in the sack with Henry Crawford.
I kind of do too.
Me too. I like want to see them together because they're not cousins.
I know.
And I feel,
know.
I don't know. He would like make her a freak, and we all know it.
Depending on which version of Henry Crawford, I think he could make any one of us a freak.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh, so Mariah was Mrs. Weston in the Emma with Kate Beckinsale.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out
Yeah, because I looked
who
that up
she was.
because I was like, oh my gosh, and I thought she did a good job. I liked her.
Did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Go
know
ahead.
who I really liked? Mr. Yates.
What was with his hair?
Oh my gosh, right? You guys,
Like,
the funniest dude's hair I have ever seen in any period film. Like
I didn't understand.
they had it like slicked down with like bangs, but then it was like curly on top. And it was so weird. It was so weird.
It was
Like halfway
weird.
through, because okay, so this one, like obviously it's older and the production value, it's like kind of grainy and not super great. Also, they had some drunk cameramen a couple times where I was like, could we keep the camera still? Like, what is happening right now? So there's a few things with that, and that's fine, you know, not everything ages well. But the way that they did his hair, like halfway through, I was like trying to like see the details more. I'm like, it's kind of like they're not, you can't really tell. There's something funny happening with that. And then there was a scene later when he came back that I was like, no, his hair definitely has like ringlets on top. And I do not know why they thought that was a good idea.
It was like a nest on top of there. It was weird.
Yeah, it was so weird.
But maybe, I mean, the thing is maybe it was a style. I don't know.
Maybe. Also, Mr. Bertram, the grandpa, the uncle.
Yeah.
His wig and everything, I kept thinking of the original Poldark.
Really?
Like I was like, I wonder if that's the same guy because he just looks so similar to the very original show of Poldark.
Gosh, I need to watch the originals. I haven't seen any of those.
I mean, they were made in like the 70s, so it could have been like the same guy.
Yeah, very well. It could have been. I didn't even think that. It does look like him. We'll have to figure that out later. The whole gate thing with like Mr. Crawford and Mariah like going through like the
when they're in the garden.
Yeah, and then like they go through the side or whatever, squeeze through. It's such a huge foreshadowing moment. Like, you know what I mean? Of like it's just foreshadowing to the future of like what's gonna happen. You know? And Mr. Rushworth, I'm sorry, dude. I mean, we're writing our letter to him this week, and I did it real quick because I don't care about him. But
Okay, I kept thinking that when we were watching this, I was like, I'm gonna have to write a letter to that guy.
I know, right? Well, it'll be easy. So, I figured, I was like, this one will be really easy. But I was like thinking, I was like, guy, okay, come on, dude. Like, you are so clueless. Like, this is so obvious. Like, I don't think that she like, I don't even know. Like, she barely like paid attention to him. It's like, come on. Like, come on.
Yeah. I know, I feel bad for him because you're just like, you're so dumb.
And like, you're not using your brain. Like, she's not gonna, yeah.
No, and they all kind of despise him. So it's sad, but that he's getting used because
I know.
He should have had a best friend that could have been like, are you sure you want to marry her? Like, are you sure?
I know.
But even with the sister, because the sister follows them through the gate later, and that like, that's something as well that happens because the sister who is unmarried is like living with the sister who is like a fool and getting it on with Mr. Crawford when she's married. And then she elopes with Mr. Yates, who's not like a great catch either, And so it kind of shows that their behavior is like,
it's weird. And I thought it was weird even when she goes off after the wedding and Julia is with her sister and her new husband in the carriage.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck is that?
To go live with them after, and so she leaves on their honeymoon or something. Like,
I
thought that was funny.
That was super weird. I didn't understand that. I just thought that was like not weird as in like, I don't know if that happens in the book, but just weird as in like, what a weird choice for character to make. Like, that would be like another clue for Mr. Rushworth to be like, this chick probably doesn't like me. Okay.
She doesn't want to live alone with me.
Yeah, I mean, for real. All right, so did you notice like Mariah had like this weird like side bonnet that was like purple or something, and it was like just bizarre. Like it was
the
like,
bill went to the side.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's like all of this is just very interesting because I'm not like an expert in historical costuming, so I don't really know. That I did find a cool channel though, who she kind of breaks down some of the historical stuff. I can't even remember the name of the channel. I have to look it up. She talks about
a couple that I like, but it's not really like I don't watch them all the time, so I probably should, and I'd learn something.
Well, let me see. I'm looking her up now. It's like about the I watched one of her videos so far, but it's basically just about how the dancing isn't accurate in a lot of the Jane Austen films.
Oh no, really? That's disappointing.
I know, isn't it? She said that it's a lot more fast paced. That it would actually be okay.
Than it would have been.
Like that it should be more like it. Yeah, that it's a lot more. The original stuff is a lot more. Sorry. The accurate things should be a lot more fast paced than the slow crap is not actual, the stuff that we love.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to share it. I'll put it in the link in our description too, but I'm going to message this to you, but I will also put it, I'm going to text it to you.
Yeah.
But it is tea with Cassian? What?
I just like that she has tea with as
okay.
the name.
Yeah. I know, isn't that cute? It's like us too. I was like, I love that.
Yeah. Okay, let's be friends with her. She can make us sound so much smarter when we're talking about these movies.
Right, I know. So I was like, we need to start sharing her stuff because it's interesting. So I did like creep and find her on Instagram, but I can't remember if I'm following her on which account. So I'll have to look, because it's not T with whatever, with Cassia. I'm so sorry if you are listening, which you probably are not, but I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name right. But I love your work. So but so I just can't remember.
We just don't know your name.
I know, right? And so, but I can't remember. I have to like look and see which account I'm following her on. But anyway, it's just a very interesting to see. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But no, literally it was such a freaking Cinderella story. Speaking of the dancing, because like they have a ball for Fanny. You know what I mean? It's like so crazy. Yeah.
So why do you think that when Mr. Bertram, is it just Mr. or is he like, does he have a different title?
Is it Lord Bear? Is it Lord? Hold on.
I think it probably is.
Sir Thomas Bertram.
Sir Bertram. When he comes back. Bertram. And then all of a sudden he's kind of like giving Fanny more attention. What do you think caused that? Like why did it happen then?
I think his daughters were gone. And so he was like, what else am I going to do? You know?
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, I mean, I guess maybe she had like grown into like womanhood a little bit more too. Cause he says that when he sees her, he's like, I think you've grown 2 inches or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I was just kind of curious about that. I was like, is it because he was away from his family and he had a change of perspective? Was it because his daughter was getting married and he was like, oh, I should probably kind of like see if I can set Fanny up well as well. Or
probably, I think all of that, you know, probably. So probably all of that. It's interesting to think about too.
Yeah.
And the, I would say that it's just a mixture of that. And then also, he probably felt guilty for not like giving her more attention. And then it took him like being out of the situation to realize, oh shoot, I've been a jerk, you know?
Yeah.
Yay, theater. It's like that. Like my favorite part of the whole thing is the theater. Woo.
The world is a stage. The stage is a world.
Like I was obsessed with the theater that they built. I thought it was so cute.
It was cute.
And it made me like think, because I have a dream of like creating, like getting an old Victorian house and doing like dinner theater there. And we could do like, for Halloween, we could do the play Clue, and like we could have like an interactive version of Clue and like for the guests, and then we could do Jane Austen stuff too, and then like all different things, because like unfortunately like we can't just do Jane Austen because that's not gonna like make the money, unfortunately, because like Jane Austen is like, when I talk to people about it, they're like, well, it's such a niche community. And I'm like, everybody loves Jane Austen. What are you talking about? And then they're like,
I know, that is funny when we were setting this up, because I was like, we're going to have to like really like look for people. And you were like, no, everyone loves it. And I was like, I don't know though.
Well, there are a lot
more. I was like, am I under a rock? Like, does everyone like this? Because I just have lived my life not knowing that. Well, there are so many, but it's not as like, I mean, you know, it's not like a murder show where you instantly have like 50,000 people following you.
Yes. But I think it's almost better that we're starting in like a little niche market, and then like we'll just like expand and grow. Because it just, I don't know, because there are too many true crime podcasts. It's like crazy. Like, it's just like everyone's like, let's talk about
We're going to run out of murders, you guys. Just kidding. We never will.
I know, unfortunately. Yeah. So sad.
For your little Victorian house, can we do a Charles Dickens Christmas party?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay. I've always wanted to do a Charles Christmas.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah, I think it would be the funnest Christmas party. Like everyone dress up, you know, carolers.
Yeah, that would be fun.
It would just be so sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I was also thinking, like, for kids, we would do, like, different, like, interactive events of, like, okay, it's Thanksgiving, so we're gonna make candles and pretend, all this stuff. Like, because I remember doing that as a kid and making, like, the dolls, and then also we could have, like, we could have school back in the day and pretend that we're, like, in school, like, in the little, like,
Yes.
I don't know. I just have a lot of ideas, and
The little schoolhouse.
I'm a 7, so I'm just like,
I love that.
yeah. So it's like, so anyway, but yes. So I wanted to just talk about. Did I interrupt you? Were you supposed to say? Did I?
No, go on.
Okay. Well, this theater thing. All right. So, first of all, play acting is very dangerous. I'm definitely been like victim to it. When you're like all over a guy and like he's really cute and you're like I have to do it, it's acting, and then you're like, what are you doing what are you doing after rehearsal?
Hey boo.
I'm like, hey, what are you doing after rehearsal? Like, want to run lines?
Yeah,
that's always that's like my my thing. Want to run lines?
Your key for, or just like make out.
No, right? Want to run lines? Okay. I like totally need help with my lines. Like, help me with my lines, please. Oh my God, right? I know.
Hold my hand while you're doing it.
Right? I know, seriously. So totally understand that. Like, I feel for them for that. But what I'm confused about, and maybe it's different in the book, but Mariah and Henry weren't even lovers in the story. They were mother and son.
I know. Okay. That was like one of the weird things. There's some weird things in this story, you guys. There's some weird things. Okay. First of all, we have already addressed the kissing cousins. We have addressed that. They're like getting all hot and bothered with each other as they're running lines as son and mother. Like that whole scene, I was like, are you kidding? What?
Yeah, I was like, what? This is like not even.
And then that scene of freaking rat-faced Henry Crawford where he's like, I love Fanny. I want to marry Fanny. And his sister congratulates him by kissing his mouth.
Yeah, that was weird.
What is this crap?
No, this literally, like, this is what I'm telling you is Fanny is surrounded by psychos. It's like she's here and she's like psycho. Like,
yeah,
seriously.
She has 2 batshit crazy aunts.
She has
these terrible cousins. Like her uncle won't pay any attention to her. She goes home. Her dad's a drunk. Like Fanny Price has a tough life.
I know. She literally is like Cinderella. Like, whack. Yeah. So, and that's the thing.
A couple mice named Gus, Gus, and Jacques. And then this is a wrapped up story.
Right? I remember when I used to work at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique at Disney, I would do like little girls' hairs and makeup. And this one little girl, I was like, who's your favorite princess? I always ask them that. She's like, Cinderella. I'm like, why? And she gave me the best answer that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. She said, because she's kind when everybody is mean to her. And I was like, oh. And so that's Fanny for sure.
That is Fanny. That is Fanny. And I do have to say that is a great character to develop and to focus on and to applaud and all of that. There were some times during this story where I was just like, Fanny, get some gumption. Like,
I know. Well, and she does
for some freaking wood so that your room can have a fire. Like, my gosh, there were a lot of moments like that.
But Mrs. Norris is such an awful person to her, and so it makes her feel I think that she gets all confused in her head about what she is allowed to ask for and what she's not, because Mrs. Norris is like, oh, how could you? What are you doing? Like,
Why do you think Mrs. Norris is such a biatch?
I think that she has
control. Like, what's her issue?
I think she has control issues, and she doesn't have a husband to boss around anymore because her husband's died.
Yeah.
So I just think she has control issues. Also, I think she feels this like sense of stressed outedness. Really great use of words.
Go on. Yeah.
Because she's the one who said, oh, let's bring Fanny here. And then And so now she's here, and so she feels like this weight of like, okay, we have to make sure that Fanny's like not getting in the way and all of this, and make sure she's on her best behavior and etc. and all that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I did like it when though Mr. Bertram stood up for her, like when he like was talking about the dinner engagement and getting a carriage.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Norris was like, why would you, she could walk. And then Sir Bertram was like, my niece walked to a dinner engagement, you know, super sweet. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that scene a lot too, because I think that that was a good moment for him to kind of be like, she is my niece. Why would I make her live below the means that we have, you know?
Yeah.
And that like, that's a nice moment for Fanny to kind of be like, oh, like, okay, that's really kind to have somebody stick up for me like that. But I think it's also a good scene to kind of just be like, yeah, like why wouldn't he do everything he can to take care of her? And I like that in his character, when you see that shift, whatever it was that caused him to have more compassion and more like attention towards Fanny when he gets back from being in the West Indies.
Yeah.
And then I also like how at the end they bring her sister to live at
yes,
the park as well.
That was
and I think that's sweet.
Yeah, that was sweet.
I didn't realize that she had a sister that passed away.
Oh, I totally missed that when I watched it.
Oh, really? Yeah, their sister Mary had passed away, and her mom's like, "Oh, you remember Mary, right?" And she's like, "Yeah," but you you kind of get the impression that she did not remember Mary.
Oh God, I don't know. That is so weird.
It is weird that she went to Mansfield Park as a little girl and she doesn't go to see her family again for years and years and years.
Very sad. Very sad. It's bizarre. It is bizarre. I really liked William and Fanny's relationship though. I thought that was sweet. Her brother.
Yes. Yeah. I thought that was really too. I also really liked her. Well, I liked her relationship with both of the brothers, Tom and Edmund, because they take care of her and they like actually help her out way more than the other two cousins that are her girl cousins do.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, and like,
and it's almost like, go on.
Almost, oh no, go ahead. Almost like what?
Well, it's almost like, Lord Bertram kind of like takes their cues a little bit, you know, when he gets back, he like starts noticing all these things and being like, oh, we should take care of this, which is something that Edmund did a lot while he was gone. You know, he's like, oh, how many days has it been since Fanny was able to like go exercise outside, because the mare that she would ride had gotten old and died. And so she like didn't have a horse anymore. And then he was like, oh, like, you're not like able to exercise, you know, he's noticing all these things and kind of like asking her questions of like, well, do you have everything you need? And then when Lord Bertram comes back from the West Indies, then that's when he like goes to visit her in her room and he's like, don't you have a fire? And she's like, oh no, I never like stay here that long. And he's like, well, you should have a fire in here. Like, it's okay, you know? And he starts noticing all the little things that it's like she feels she can't ask for or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I did notice that. I enjoyed that. And I don't know, I like Tom. I think he's hot.
Yeah. He is, and he has like a fun personality.
I know.
He's just, because he's kind of like, in some ways it's like Edmund is the eldest, but he's not, you know? So it's kind of funny, but I like him. He's just kind of fun.
Yeah, I know. I do feel bad for Edmund though, that he like completely like screwed up his future with like spending all the fortune on bets and stuff. I mean, that's not cool. That's not cool, Thomas.
No, dude, get it together.
Okay, Henry Crawford is so freaking manipulative.
Amen. Tell me why.
What the heck? Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a man whore. Okay, but why would you say he's manipulative? deal with it.
Because
Do you think he really genuinely liked Fanny, or do you think that that was just like a manipulation or a
I think
challenge for him?
it started out as a challenge. Like he wanted to make her fall in love with him. Like I think he had a goal to make all the women fall in love with him, and then that way he has a choice on who to pick.
Mm,
You know?
interesting. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or wounded little
And then
man.
I think he saw how like great a woman Fanny is, just like through her kindness and her how solid of a Horton hatches the egg. She like sits on the nest and never wavers, and was like, oh, I'm attracted to that. I really actually do want her. Cause like it's crazy that he went and visited her at her house, and like because you never would think a gentleman like Henry Crowfoot would be like, in a house like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's crazy.
No, that's true. And he really did do a solid to her brother, William, to like
Yes, that
help
was
him become a
good.
lieutenant. So I know, and I think that's one thing that's kind of sad about his character, because it's like the bad boy, and you think you see the heart of gold finally coming out, and it's like really exciting and sweet, but then he can't handle that too long,
I know.
And then all of a sudden he's back to his old antics.
I know. I wish that there was like another, I don't know. I wish though that she had made Henry better, and then Henry and Fanny could have ended up together instead of her cousin. I don't know.
It's just so weird, Jane. It's so weird.
I know, but apparently they did that back then, so they didn't have social media and Bumble to figure out, who the other eligible batches were. That'd be funny. That'd be funny.
I wonder
if we wrote like the different characters on a freaking dating app.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure I've met some of them already.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah.
I wonder, we need a historian again, calling all historians.
Okay.
Like, I wonder how often first cousins actually got married.
I don't know. I actually Googled, is it weird to marry your cousin?
Is it weird to Google if I can marry my cousin?
I didn't read much into it because I was like, I just can't read this anymore. But it was just basically saying, relax, it's not weird to marry your cousin. Like there were some articles that said that because it said it's not going to be like damaging to like, I don't know. Yeah. But I was like,
I mean, okay, but that was one thing I was thinking about, because like, that's like one of the big things of like inbreeding or whatever. But at this point, aren't we diversified enough in the gene pool that that's not really going to be a problem?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I actually saw this documentary of these stories of siblings have been separated. And then they meet later and then fall in love and then get married. Like literally siblings that were separated at birth, and then they like meet and they're so attracted to each other. And I'm like,
I would not like that. I mean, but that's also scientifically proven that if you have similar facial structures or facial features, it's more common for people to fall in love with that, because like we recognize similarities, but then there's also like all of this like other stuff that goes on that keeps us from that, actually, because there's like our genes want to be filled in with the weaknesses, so like we're also going to be attracted to people that will have the gene pool that we're missing,
Yes. Yeah.
Like that's why we're attracted to certain smells and certain pheromones, because our bodies will recognize like, oh, we need like that, and this person has it. Like, did you know? Okay, so I read these that are called female brain and male brain, and they're like fascinating. People read them. So cool. But that was like one of the things they were talking about, how our pheromones giving off, like it's like communicating the missing links in our DNA that we want to fill in so that we can be strong and our posterity will be strong. So we're like getting cues from our body and our brain without even realizing it. And one of the weird things is when you kiss somebody, if it's like a bitter taste when you kiss somebody, it's because your DNA is too similar. And your brain is like registering it through the saliva and your taste buds and being like, no, that person's not good. So it creates like an anti-attraction to that person.
That's interesting.
Isn't that cray cray? I wonder if
weird.
that's how Fanny and Edmund's kiss was.
I don't know. I liked this quote. I loved this quote. I cannot think well of a man who sports any woman's feelings.
Oh yeah, I liked that one too.
Yeah,
and
that was good.
I think that's very, very good judgment on Fanny's part.
Yeah. God, I felt so bad for them dealing with her dad. Like, that's got to be scary. Her drunk dad.
Yeah, I know, and all the kids and everybody.
I know. That's got to be scary. I just yeah. I don't know. The affair is crazy too. That's like such a good like twist ending, you know. These
Between
people,
her cousin and Crawford.
Well, yeah, Mariah and Henry. Yeah.
I know. It's like, I don't know. She's so stupid. She left with him. She ran off with him. Like, what did she think was going to happen? And then at the end, she ends up being divorced and living with her aunt.
I don't know. It is scandalous. So the scene. Here's another quote I liked. Fanny makes herself indispensable for those she loves. That was Edmund said that, and I thought that was really good. You know.
Yeah.
I also like in the end that one of the last scenes is Edmund and Fanny are sitting next to each other and talking. And I thought that was like a really excellent representation of when you're like super emotional, you can't like look at the person while you're like talking. So
yeah.
But she married her cousin.
But do we need to remind you? These are kissing cousins. This is what's happening.
So that's all
It just kind of bugs me that
series.
Edmund is like, yet again, they are cousins. No, it just kind of bugs me how Edmund is like obsessed with Mary Crawford forever. And then he's like, by the way, I love you. Let's get married. You know?
Yeah,
it's just
I know. It is weird. It is interesting. I wonder how the story would shape up if like Fanny ended up with Henry and then he ended up with Mary. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they'd have a more diversified gene pool.
Yeah.
Just by a little bit, though. It's cousins and siblings.
The Crawfords are very messed up, I will say. They're messed up family. So I don't know. It's interesting. So, I mean, but that's literally all I had. I took notes on was all that. So do you have any other notes?
No, I mean, that's it. I had a lot of notes about being like, why that hair choice? Why can't the cameraman keep this scene straight?
Yeah.
There were just a couple things like that.
But I mean, the reviews though are over this one are the ones that are the most positive out of any of the Mansfields.
Yeah.
So
well, they told the whole story very, very clearly. Like they took the book and they made it. And that's great.
That is good. So we'll see as we read though, if what things they missed or changed. I don't know if they changed anything. Who knows? I just can't remember. So anyway,
I am interested because I think it's the 93 or something like that. No, it's 97. The 99. Version. Yeah. When we watched that one, I haven't seen that one in years, but from what I do remember of it, they did take a lot of liberties in kind of interpreting the story differently.
Yes.
So I think that one will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
As we've reacquainted ourselves with the story.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen the 2007 version as well with the blonde as Fanny. So.
Oh yeah.
But I haven't watched it in a while anyway. So.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one actually. So I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah.
And you know what I realized? This month we have 5 Wednesdays.
Really?
So yeah, so our Dear Gentleman series, we're gonna have to come up with the fifth person from Mansfield Park.
No,
I
not this
know.
one.
Why?
Why couldn't it have been, dang it. Why couldn't it have been Emma?
I know.
Dang it. Or another one.
Isn't it funny to have this novel right after Emma because we were like so in love and just
I
adore Emma,
know.
and then we're this one where we're like, who's that? What's going on?
I
What?
know.
Huh?
It is funny. Yeah, maybe we write it. I don't know. Well, maybe this is a good opportunity because I know we want to do Dear Ladies as well. Maybe we could write one to start Dear Ladies slowly and do one, just do, if we ever have an extra Wednesday, maybe do a heroine.
Oh,
And
dear
then,
Fanny.
so the rest of the times we might have extra Wednesdays. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll come up with something for you guys. Don't you worry.
We'll
Don't
figure
you
it
worry, your
out.
pretty little heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we do highs and lows?
Yes.
All right.
Let's
do
it.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, I am doing serious eyebrow action.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Okay, so you go first. Should we start with lows so that we can get the bad out of the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
My low is that I have just been sick for way too long, and I'm finally starting to feel better today. But oh my gosh, like I was in bed all weekend and then I started to feel good and I was like, I can go back to work and get things going again. And then I was like flat in bed all weekend again. I'm just like so over it, you guys. I am so over it. And
I
like,
hate it.
I just have like this little cough that keeps wanting to pop up, which is not what you want to have in public this day and age.
No.
When you're like, if I cough, everyone's gonna like think I'm carrying the plague and shun me. So
Yeah.
it's been annoying and just such low energy. Like I've probably been the biggest wet blanket for you to deal with this last week because I'm just like, I don't have energy. So that's my low.
Well,
I'm tired of it.
Well, that's why I texted you because I was like, is she going live this weekend? Is she okay? I was like,
I know.
Okay.
I'm like totally ignoring everybody because I'm just like, I don't have the energy to respond. I'm just gonna lay here like a zombie.
Yeah, no,
So bad.
I totally get it. I totally get it. Okay, so my low this week, I'm just really, really tired. But it's good. I mean, like, cause I'm busy and I'm happy I'm busy. I'm just tired all the time. I don't know. It's just weird. So it's okay.
Well, eat your vitamins because that's how I felt before I got sick.
Yeah. I'm just really tired all the time. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm just like a naturally, like, I could sleep all day and be fine. I'm just one of those people that can just sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep. So I don't know.
I'm with you. I am with you on that.
I don't know. So it's weird. Okay, you're high.
Okay, so my highlight is that my brother and sister-in-law and I, and well, their kids when their kids want to, we've started watching reruns of Survivor. And I've never been into that show, but it's really fun to watch like several episodes a night and kind of like make the bets on who you think's gonna win, and then like we're all obsessed with it at the same time. So it's just been like really fun to get into Survivor the first time in my life.
Oh, that's fun.
And I had no idea that this show has been on for like 40 freaking seasons. So
that's long. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there are so many seasons of it and I had no idea. So we're just kind of pick the ones that are supposed to have the best reviews of being a good season and we would just watch it. And
yeah,
it's been fun. You guys, I feel like I could survive a little bit better in the wild after watching this show.
That show Naked and Afraid is the most, I've never seen it, but it's the most bizarre.
It really, yeah.
Like,
why would you want to go on that show?
I don't know. It's weird.
I'm not down for that.
For money, probably.
I mean,
yeah. So my high is like the same as my session is like the show that we did for the kids. It was just so cute. So
yeah, I know the pictures you posted were adorable from it. So
I love them, and I have a video of it, and like I'm just so proud. My little mouse, she like didn't miss a line. She's only 6 years old, but she was perfect.
That's impressive for a little 6-year-old.
I was very impressed. And like the first day, so I have a friend who has a daughter that I was like, hey, she should totally sign up with me. Like, I would love to have her. And so she signed up, but she was really, really shy in the beginning and was always like super attached. And I was like, oh, hey. And the little girl that plays mouse was like, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying names just because this is blah, this is Sally. This is Sue. And then, Sue like would bring her in. I'm using fake names. Sue would bring her in. And she said, I heard her with the first day. She goes, it's okay. I've been here a lot. And she like showed her around the room and was like, it was just cute.
Aw.
Yeah, it was adorable.
I love it when babies support babies.
I know.
So fun.
It is really sweet. Yeah, it was adorable.
That's cute.
Yay.
I love it.
I love it
good
too.
obsessions and highlights and all of that.
I know. Fun.
Okay.
All right.
So next week, do we decide which one we're doing?
No, I have a vote. Do you think? I think we should do the 2007 one, the blonde. Is that cool? Or do you want to do
I would like that.
Okay. I was saying we do that one.
Yeah.
And then the next week we're going to watch Metropolitan, which is like this weird, I don't know. It's some like, I saw it on.
It's based off of Mansfield, right? Or it's inspired by Mansfield?
Loosely something like another movie. And then I was thinking the last week we could do the 90 whatever version, because that's the one that I think is the most popular. So
yeah, I think that's such a good idea. Let's do that. Okay, so for next week, 2007 Mansfield Park, which I think you can find on Amazon Prime. You could probably also find it other spots, but that's where I found it when we were looking for the different ones to do. So watch that with us, guys, and we'll be able to tell you what all of our thoughts on it next week.
But he's her cousin.
Yeah. But he's still, they are related. Don't enjoy it too much because they're cousins.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if we mentioned that yet.
It's crazy. Crazy. All right, y'all. We'll catch you later. See you on Instagram.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you follow us.
Instagram, Tea with Claudia and B. All that jazz. We'll be there. We're starting devotionals. We're starting our devotionals soon on Mansfield. So yeah. Oh, leave a review. Leave a review. Leave a review. Leave a review.
Yes, yes. That's a great song.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.